Good morning, namaste, greetings, assalamu alaikum, malafia, what's happening? I hope your day is starting off well. I was reading a testimonial from the book She Called Me Woman, and one woman, her name is QM, and in the middle of her testimony, she started to illustrate how in her childhood that she felt less like a woman and more like a man, that she believed herself to be a man-child. The way she dressed, the way she acted, the way she carried herself, her body language all paralleled to being a male child. This is what she expressed in her book. Her father tried to redirect her from that behavior, but she couldn't because it was natural behavior for her, right? But her father also told her that she was to get married against her will, right? So she married a gentleman, she encountered domestic violence, and at times she was severely hurt, but her husband didn't allow her to receive hospital care. He would just go to the corner store, get some Band-Aids, get some drugs, and call it a day, right? QM told a story about her friend that was in a similar situation, that was ill due to domestic violence, and I think it was due to domestic violence and some type of other bodily illness. I don't recall the name of it, but QM said that her friend could have had an opportunity to live if her husband allowed her to receive hospital care. QM continued and stated that we aren't given opportunities, right? Her friend wasn't given an opportunity to live because if she would have been taken to the hospital, there could have been a chance that she could have survived, right? QM wasn't given the opportunity to live out her full identity as male because her father despised her sexuality or gender preference, right? And I don't want to take her statement out of the context. I think theology has denied people the opportunity to live into their authentic self in regards to their sexuality. I think religiosity and theology has also taken away the opportunity for people to explore indigenous spirituality, and whether Western Christianity likes it or not, a lot of that indigenous spirituality that we think we left behind in Africa, or that Latinx people, Afro-Latinx people left in their homeland. Like, none of that has been left. All that is still traveling in our DNA, and a lot of that is coming forth and is being rebirthed within us. And I'm not saying rebirth to say that it has died, but some things can lay dormant in you and not live, if that makes sense. But anyway, a lot of opportunities have been taken away from us, right? A lot of opportunities have been taken away from us due to inherited trauma, and opportunities have been taken away from us because we don't know how to deal with our trauma, right? But I wanted to keep that in context, and I wanted to give just due to her story. But I also want to ask what opportunities we fail to take advantage of because we don't know how to love, or we don't want to receive love, or we are afraid to receive love because we never have before, and we don't know what it's going to be like, and it's a very fearful thing, right? And I think learning to possess the opportunities that we do have, we have opportunities to heal if we so desire. Meaning, I know we have to come to the knowledge of healing. I know we have to understand that we deserve healing. I know that we have to come to the knowledge that many of us are traumatized, and it's a process to get to the point to say, I want to be made whole, right? I want to heal. I want, to deal. I want to heal the trauma that I have, and I also want to heal the inherited trauma that has traveled through my generation, right? It takes a process. It's a process to get to the point to say, I want to deal with these things. I want to heal from these things. I do not want to pass these things on. I want to live better. I want to think better. I want to be spiritually enhanced. All these things take time because you have to be aware of it first, right? But I think seeking to come into awareness, the willingness to sit down to hear, to discover if the possibility exists within you, is also an opportunity that we don't give ourselves. It's not that nobody gives it to us. I think sometimes it's that we don't give ourselves the opportunity to actually sit down and listen to receive anything that could resonate with us, right? So think about 3 things. What opportunities is your theology, your political stance, or your theology and your political stance, what opportunities are they taking away from other people? What opportunities are you taking away from yourself because you refuse to listen or position yourself to hear of possibilities, right? The possibility that you could have inherited trauma. And I don't know anybody that don't have trauma, right? I don't know anybody that has not been traumatized. It may not be in the same degree. You may not have been traumatized in the similar manners, but everybody has experienced some type of trauma. You could break up with your partner after 15 years, and that could be traumatizing because you've been together for so long and so much has happened, and out of the blue it's over. That could be a traumatizing experience, right? It may not be as traumatizing as someone who has experienced domestic violence or sexual assault, but it is still trauma, right? And sometimes we don't realize what trauma we do hold because we're not willing to listen. So what opportunities are you robbing yourself of because you failed to listen? Oops. Right? And then consider the opportunities that we rob the next generation of because we're not willing to learn how to heal. No, healing is not easy. It's not docile in any aspect. It's complicated, and sometimes healing hurts because you have to let go. You have to put yourself in a position to be purged of some things, not physically, emotionally, mentally, financially. Like it's a holistic thing, especially if you welcome it, right? Especially if you welcome the full nature of healing. It is holistic in a sense. So think about opportunities, right? What opportunities are you taking from other people? What opportunities are you robbing yourself of? And what opportunities are